Hello, everybody. Welcome to Ladies Power Lunch. I'm so excited that we're here today, and we have a very, very special guest with us, Gina. And we're also joined by a couple of our friends from our Ladies Power Lunch group. And I'm just going to go ahead and let everybody into the room right now so that we can get started. We're having a really interesting conversation today, and we're talking about just having that sort of gravitas in your business, being the go to person. Like when I think, for example, I need somebody who is an expert on business and pivoting your business and business management. The first person who actually pops into my mind, no joke, I'm not just saying this because you're our speaker today, Gina, but it's Gina. She pops into mind. So our conversation today is going to center around how do you get to be that person? How do you get to be the person who is the one that people think of for the thing that you do? And I want to give a little spoiler alert here. It's not what you think. It's probably something else. So this is going to be interesting, guys. I can't wait for this conversation to continue. I just want to invite our friends who have been so kind and so generous to join us over here on the Zoom call today. I want to invite you to just unmute, introduce yourself so that those of us who are watching over on Facebook or watching the replay can see who was on the call with us today. So Elena, I have you first. Would you say who you are and what you do?
Sure. Hi, everyone. It's so good to be here today. Elena Goggin with Elder Life Care Planning. We care manage, advocate for seniors, and we do some life care planning for proactive and seniors that are in crisis.
Elena, I'm not sure if it's me, but you're kind of breaking up. So I'm gonna move over to Lynn. Lynn, would you say who you are and what you do? And then I'm gonna go to D next.
And I am a health and wellness educator with Juice Plus, Tower Garden, and Scout and Cellar Wines, here to help people find balance and improvement in how they feel and how they look and how they live their lives.
Beautiful. I love that. Dee, who are you? What do you do?
I am Gina Fata, and as Davia likes to call me, or Dr. Davia, she calls me the light switch because I turn the light on for people. So if you're in the dark, I am here to illuminate your beautiful spirit with positivity and perspective.
I love it. And Lorraine, I have you next on my screen. Would you tell us who you are and what you do?
Hi, ladies. My name is Lorraine Sanborn. My business is Fabulous Begins at 50. I chose the Isogenics products because when I started with them 7 years ago at the age of 72, they've been working for me and I want to share them with everybody else.
Beautiful, beautiful 72. Love it, love it, love it. Awesome. And Rishma, hey, welcome, lady. Tell everybody about your new book. We're so excited.
Yes. Yeah, my new book is called Pandemic Budgeting and Finances, How to Use Piggy Banks and Stop Counting Sheep. And it's now available on Amazon. And I'm also a money wisdom coach.
Excellent. And you're going to be one of our speakers coming up on Ladies Power Lunch Coffee Break. So I'm looking forward to that with great anticipation. And everybody knows Jackie, but Jackie, would you be kind enough to introduce yourself?
Of course. I am Jackie Baldwin, and I am a financial advisor with B&L Financial Architects, and I help women through transitions, whether it be marital status changes or excuse me, leaving that corporate job and deciding to start their own passion, or whether they're just trying to prepare a few years out from retirement.
Basically, you help us know where our money is, and that's something that we all really need to focus on.
And where it should be.
Yeah, exactly. What what on earth should we be doing with our money? That's wonderful. So I'm also looking forward to, you were a speaker last week, and you're going to be also hanging out with Rishma when we come and talk about money again next week. So that's going to be
Absolutely. And just a plug for her book. I did read the book. It's fantastic. Some really great ideas in there. Her story is incredible. So if you haven't
looking
gotten the
forward
book
to
yet,
it.
go for it.
Awesome. And Dorinda, you joined a little bit later, but all we're doing is just saying who we are and what our business is, really quick, really easily.
Thank you. Dorinda Riccitelli. My company is Spectrum Associates Market Research. I help companies gather information they need to make good decisions.
We need to make good decisions. So Dorinda, we kind of need you. Awesome. Yay. I'm so glad that everybody joined us. And we also do have friends over on Facebook. Hi, guys. Thanks for joining us over there as well. So, Gina, my dear, dear friend, thank you so much for joining us today. And I'm really looking forward to hearing your take on this conversation that we want to have. But before we get started, can you tell everybody who you are and what it is that you do?
Well, thank you for having me. I'm happy to be here. I'm a holistic business coach, and I help entrepreneurs, primarily solopreneurs who maybe have one employee or a virtual assistant, design, launch, and grow their business, help them get kind of button things up is what I like to say. Sometimes we launch businesses and we may have missed a step or two, whether it be branding or marketing or your messages or your packages. And so I help them fine tune the things that they just forgot and missed.
I love that. And I want to just say that I can personally say that I have had many conversations with Gina about the direction of my business, and every single conversation that we've had together has been beneficial to me. And so I absolutely, the people that I bring onto the show are people that I feel really comfortable and confident sharing them with you all. And so you can understand that Gina, she's just a top notch. So what we're talking about today is that presence, that gravitas, that idea of being a leader in the industry that you're in. And I mean, this doesn't have to be necessarily what you want to do. You could want to just do the thing that you're doing and do it in a part-time way and not be that focused on it, and it could be like a hobby for you, and that's fantastic and that's fine. And then there are some of us who this is our life's work. This is the thing that we feel like we've been sent here to do. This is the moment for us when we feel like we're making a difference, we're changing things. And so, how is it that we get to this point where we have that presence, where we have that gravitas, where we are an industry leader, where at 6 o'clock in the morning, Dr. Davia gets up in the morning and she's like, I need somebody to talk about gravitas. Who could that person that I call be? And the first person that comes to mind is your name. What is it that brings you to that point? So, Gina, let's dive right into this conversation. When it comes to being an industry leader, what do people really need to start thinking about as far as their business goes?
Let's see. That's an easy one. It's so simple. Do what you love and love what you do. And if you don't love it, take it off of your plate, take it off of your website. Don't offer it to people because they can see and you can see. And I like to say, and I know you love this because I've said it to you before and you go, oh, you get all excited. Notice what you're noticing, okay? So notice what you're noticing. Notice when you sell something or have an interaction with someone, how do you feel? And this is kind of a holistic coaching to me that comes out, but how do you feel in your gut? How do you feel inside? When you hang up that Zoom call, when you hang up the, log off on the phone, are you excited? Are you like, oh my gosh, I can't wait to work with this person. These are such, great information. I'm excited. I know I can help them. Or are you like, oh, right? Are you deflated? Are your shoulders down? Are you like, oh my gosh, that was painful. This person just put me to sleep, right? So you have to understand and just pay attention. So it's not only the people that you're working with, because that stems from how you're projecting, right? We attract and we repel with our marketing messages, what we put out there. who we are attracting. So if you're working with people and you're attracting all these, I don't know, maybe it could be needy people, people that are just putting you to sleep, whatever it may be, right? People that are a hot mess and your business isn't fixing a hot mess. If you're attracting them, then just kind of analyze, stop and look, take stock. Notice when you're feeling the ick, why am I feeling the ick? Where is it coming from? And if it's from the individual that you're working with, then you have to look at your message, because there's something in your language, right? We attract and we repel what we put out there. So I put holistic business coaching in front of business coach, because if you're not a little woo woo, then you're really probably not going to resonate with me. So I don't know. It's just so simple as notice what you're noticing.
Yeah, it all comes back down to that thing, energy, that intangible that we very often dismiss, but in my opinion, might be the most important thing. So being able to have that presence, that gravitas, that stand out ability in your business, I agree. I think it starts with your energy. It definitely starts with your energy. I'll give you an example because I love to give examples. I feel like one of my mentors who says, examples and stories teach and words really don't, is right on target. So I had a new patient come in to see me yesterday, and I had many new patients come in, but there's just this one that stands out. And when I walked into the room, my first words were to her, "How did you hear about me?" And she told me her friend referred her. And I said to her, "Did your friend tell you about me? Did she explain to you that it's not typical? It's going to be a bit." And she's like, "No." I said, "Okay, let's stop right there. And let me just outline exactly how I work. And then you can make a decision as to whether you resonate with that." Because the fact of the matter is, I don't want to walk into the room and feel the life sucked out of me because I'm working with somebody who doesn't resonate with the way that I work. And I'm bringing energy into the equation of every single patient that I treat with, whether we're talking about headache, neck pain, or back pain. So it's important that they understand too that it's not just the adjustments and it's not just the medication and it's not just that, it's also their mindset. And if I'm working with somebody who's feeling that, then it's not going to work out. So I love, love, love what you're talking about with just checking your energy at the door. I want to talk about something else too that I think makes a big difference as to whether you stand out in your industry or not. What do you guys think about this? And I'm going to bring everybody back up on camera here. What do you think about this, guys? Because everybody knows that I'm talking a lot about collaboration recently. And everybody knows there's no Hewlett without Packard, right? There's no Ben without Jerry. This idea of going it alone, the bigger companies, they've kind of already figured out that doing it alone is not necessarily going to give you the results that you want. It's not going to make you stand out in your field. But when I think of ice cream, I kind of think of Ben and Jerry's, right? And when I think of, oh, I need something like a printer or something like that, I think of HP. So it, it how do you get your name out there? How do you get to be an industry leader if you are giving consideration to this idea of collaboration? And I'm just throwing this out to the group. Anybody have any ideas about how collaboration can help you stand out? Lynn?
I think when you collaborate with different industries that are complementary to yours, what it does is it makes you more relatable to more people because you're exposing yourselves to different markets and different customer bases. So when, for example, if I was in Juice Plus marketing myself with a wellness center or a fitness center, you know, I'm cross marketing myself with some other customer bases. And then if I were to go to an, I don't know, a clothing store, for example, I've done events at Chico's, for example. You're just, you know, you're just reaching a broader market, you know, to talk about your your product and its placement and its benefits and things like that. So, and same with the wines, et cetera. Like it's about taking what you have and, you know, the 1 + 1 = 3. You're doing an additive benefit and showing people that things can go together.
Interesting. I like that. Gina.
I love that, Lynn. To piggyback on what Lynn is saying, I like to think about it as think about where your ideal client is going before, during, and after you.
Yeah,
So
that's, yeah.
Who are they working with before they get to you? Those can be collaborations and referral partners while they're with you, because let's face it, most of us are solopreneurs and we're doing multiple things, wearing many different hats in our business. So you're not only just doing one thing in your business, you're probably doing multiple. And if you know you are working in your zone of genius, that means you're probably consulting or paying someone else to do something else that's not your zone of genius. And that's where the collaboration comes in. And then the after piece is once they're done working with you and they have their results and they go off, who are they then going to need or work with? So before, during, and after is what I like to think of.
Interesting. I love that. You probably saw me looking a little distracted. I was actually taking notes because that is really, that's a great, great suggestion. Anybody else wanted to weigh in on how collaboration could help you to become an industry leader? Rishma.
Yes. Can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Okay. Yeah, I think it's also getting different perspectives. Like I'm a financial coach and I'm focusing on helping women with using money as a tool. But then there is the other aspect, like a relationship coach who can help them with the other aspects of divorce and looking at things and relationships from another aspect. Or as Jeannie said, right, like before, during, after. So I work on one piece, the coaching piece, and then he can be works like on the investment piece. Once they are good in their emergency fund and are stable, they can start to dream, and then they can start investing and grow and, you know, go further in their journey and out of the survival mode.
Yes.
So a good collaboration and looking at it holistically and from different aspects of life.
I love that. And I love that you mentioned about getting out of that survival mode because I was reading something this morning. Yes, I read. It's really exciting. You should all try it. I was reading something this morning and it was about how when you're in that survival mode, it shuts down creativity. And so getting past that it kind of has to be what we all aim for. And it's great that you're able to see, okay, where I'm working with clients in this particular mode, and the next step that they're going to need is this other person, and collaborating with that person is going to be a good idea. I love that. Any other comments? Did I miss anybody at all? No, I think I got it, everybody.
Can I
So
just quickly say,
sure, Lorraine.
I like to collab. People say to me, you collaborate with other people in your industry with competing businesses. I know Lynn and I have talked, and there's a couple of people that I've talked to, like an Arbonne person or whatever. We have so much to share. It doesn't, and there's so many people out there that we can help. So I just really feel comfortable. I know Jackie and I have talked, and we're different industries. We talked about, before COVID, we talked about doing an event together. So I just don't feel that I can't talk to people in my same industry. But yes, it is. I love what Lynn and Gina had to say. Those are really important things. But I just wanted to bring that forward because I think that's important. It's important for me. And I've made great friends with Lynn. We even went for a lobster roll together.
So here's the thing, and I love, Lorraine, that you brought this up because I feel like that's the thing that holds us back, right? But I have so many stories because I've been you know, hosting Ladies Power Lunch for it's going to be 8 years now, guys. It's been such a long time, and it's been a while. So you get to talk to women and you get to learn their stories. And I have so many stories that I could share with you about women in the same industry who come together to make it happen. I can give you an example of these three women who they're all website developers. That's all they do is website development. And the three of them came to Ladies Power Lunch, met there. I don't know if they knew each other before, but they definitely solidified their relationship at a Ladies Power Lunch meeting. And what did they do? One of them likes to work on SEO. One of them prefers the design element. And there's another one who prefers to do the social media piece of the web page. And they ended up starting a company together, taking each of their client bases and merging that and just developing this great company. And so if you need something website, you're going to feel really comfortable going to them because you know that the person who's going to be working on your SEO, that's her baby. She loves that stuff. The person who's going to be working on the design piece, she's about it and she's outstanding. And the person who's going to be connecting with your social media, she's a firecracker where that in regards to that. So it helps when people who are doing the same thing identify where their strengths are and play to their strengths. One of our members, Bevan, she likes to talk about the strength finder exercise and figuring out what your strength is and playing to that. And that helps you when you're doing a collaboration because everybody's kind of focused on the thing that makes them great, but they're not necessarily all in different industries. Does that make sense for everybody? I know sometimes I go off on these tangents because I get really excited, but I hope everybody kind of got the gist of what it is that I was saying.
I love that. I'd love to share a quick little visual.
Sure.
Think about it as, you know, when you are threatened by someone else in your same industry. So if you join instead of say a networking group and you say, well, I'm a real estate agent. Oh man, there's 2 other real estate agents there. Forget it. I'm not going to join, right? Or I'm not going to share anything. You're going to feel uncomfortable sharing. That's coming from a place of lack. And we want to come from a place of abundance. And I like to say, if you go through life like this, fine, you're keeping all of your ideas to yourself. But guess what happens? Nothing can come out and nothing can come in. So if you picture it as going through life with an open hand, you share and then things come back to you and it's just a nice natural flow.
Yep, it is. It's that, it's sort of like an infinity symbol. Things are coming in, things are going out, and it's just constantly flowing. I so, so, so adore that. And I like that you brought up the idea of, brought up the visual of the person in real estate because I have another story. Of course, I have another story. There were these two real estate agents. They met at a networking event, and they were both real estate agents. And the typical thing that you see, and if any of you've ever been to a networking event and seen real estate agents, they tend to kind of stay as far apart from each other in the room as they possibly can. These two women, they weren't about that. They decided that they wanted to meet each other. They had lunch, they got to know each other. They really, really plugged into each other and decided that they were actually going to become partners. And it just so happened that very shortly after they became partners, they got a listing and they sold it so well that the person who gave them the listing, turns out it was a piece of an estate that was somebody who was really, really rich died, and there were multiple properties. There was a ton of very valuable like art and other materials that needed to be disposed of, and they got that whole listing, every single thing. And so now they're not just doing real estate, but they actually have an auction business as part of their business, and they're very well respected. So you never know what the opportunity is that the universe is sending you, and being that open to whatever comes is what can make it happen, because I just don't see that person with that big kind of property to dispose of giving it to just one person. I don't see that happening. What do you think, Gina?
I agree 100%. And, you know, there are so many business coaches out there, but not every coach is right for every person. And Pam Diswicki came to mind. I love Pam. One of the reasons I met Pam, she's also a business coach, is because she was posting about vision boards, and I had been doing vision boards, and she posted these quotes the day, and everything she posted, I was like, I just love everything this woman posts. So I just sent her a message. I was like, I feel like we're kindred spirits. You want to have coffee? And we did. And so she started following me. And this was years and years ago. Well, she lives in Bristol and I was in Glastonbury at the time. Come to find out, we were both doing this purse project at the same time, not even realizing it. But so we have so much synergy in our lives, but she focuses more on the spiritual aspect. So she's Christian and she coaches with a Christian base. And she also came from corporate America and managed a huge team. So her business coaching is not, I don't want to say not holistic, but a little different than mine. So she's looking at bigger teams and so completely opposite. But I just love and respect her so much. And I didn't come at it when I met her as, oh, she's a threat. And oh no, another business coach, right? So I just embrace that. And she's lovely, lovely. I love Pam. I hope she's watching this, but anyway. So I agree. We're all different. And when you come together, and we have collaborated, we've sat on panels together, and we're thrilled when we see each other, and I learn from her and she learns from me. And it's just beautiful. And I think the most important thing is just to stay in your zone of genius. Like I'm good with the entrepreneurs. Like I'm good with the solopreneur. I'm happy here.
I love that. I love that so very much. One other story I can share is certainly the idea of working in private practice, and everybody's going to get this because this is going to make so much sense to you. You look at your doctors, they're all working together in private practice. And how many of you, for example, go to your OBGYN and there are like 10 different OBGYNs in the exact same office? Right. And certainly, if you're going to have a baby, you kind of want to get to know every one of them because you don't know who's going to be on call on the day you're having your baby. But at the same time, when you choose your doctor, it doesn't mean that there's something wrong with the other doctors in the practice, but you choose the one that you like. And there is nobody in that practice who's suffering for lack of patience. Right? Same thing in our practice. My patients love me. Dr. Saporito's patients love him. And if his patients have to see me, they'll see me because they figure, it's not a big deal. But they're always going to go back to seeing him. And if my patients have to see him, they'll see him, but then they're always going to come back to me. So what's yours? My parents are Jamaican, so I have a lot of Jamaican things that I say, and Jamaican people say, what's for you can be on for you. And that just means what's yours cannot be not yours. If it's for you, it's always going to be for you. So collaboration can be a vehicle for growing your gravitas and your presence in the marketplace. It can really, really be an opportunity for us to grow from where we are to where we want to be. Gina, did you have any other ideas about, we talked about energy, we talked about collaboration. Is there anything else that we should be really focusing on when we're trying to make sure that we are the market leaders that we want to be?
So I touched upon this a little bit, working in your zone of genius. So as a business coach, if someone comes to me and they're trying to figure out their life and what they want to do, have a business, launch something, go back to school, that's not my zone of genius. So then I'm going to send them to a life coach. If they're stuck and they're beat up and they're worn out and they're just here, right? I might send them to D. I might send them to Christy Sullivan, who is a self-care specialist. Depending where they're at, it will come back to me in different ways. But so stay in your zone of genius. And I know we have to end at 12 o'clock, right?
Yeah, we kind of do, and it's already 12:01.
My last quick little comment on this was I had a client once who had a massage therapy business, very, very successful. And in our first introduction, I was asking her what the different types of service. And she said this, and this. And then she said, and chair massage, and her neck went down. And then she said this, and this, and she perked up. And then she said, oh, in Reiki, and her shoulders went down. And after she went through the whole thing, I said, so why are you offering Reiki and chair massages if you hate them? And she went, how did you know that? And I'm like, well, because I read your energy. Well, I don't know. I think like that's what massage therapists are supposed to do. And I'm a Reiki master. So I guess some people ask, says who? It's your business. So it's work in your zone of genius. And she went on to say every time a client would want to book just a Reiki session, she'd be like, ugh. And she hated it. So why are you doing it? So I just wanted to share that closing piece of work in your zone of genius. And honestly, she said I didn't know I could take it off. I said, I just gave you permission. Remove it from your website. Don't ever do it again.
Yep. I love that. Work in your zone of genius. Don't try to be all things to all people. People think that if they niche themselves down, that they're going to miss out on clients. But I tell you, the clients that you're going to miss out on are not the clients that are going to be your joy-filled, heart-centered clients who become your raving fans and who actually become the ones who fill your practice because they've said so many nice things about you out and about in the world. So I I have to say, Gina, once again, with all the gems, because I was taking notes the whole entire time. Thank you so much for joining us. Ladies, thanks for joining us over here on Zoom. And for those of you who were able to join us over on Facebook, thank you so much for joining. The party continues at 1 o'clock today when we get together for Ladies Power Lunch Free Gift Friday. And I hope you all can join us back there. We're going to be talking women's health and we're going to be giving away underwear. These are things that are important to women. So if you are finding that these are topics that are important to you, why don't you join us? I'll see you guys later and have a wonderful weekend. Gina, thank you so much for
My
being here with
pleasure.
us today. It was my pleasure to have you all. Bye.
Bye.